I can't believe it's the end of 2020 already, but I'm very thankful that it is. I don't know about you guys. And at the same time, how is it not? It feels like it's both been forever coming and also like it just happened in the blink of an eye. Either way, I am so thankful this year is almost over, and I wanted to share a really fun, lighthearted video to end the year with you guys. So I want to share my favorite books that I read in 2020. I had to double check with Goodreads, but I think I've actually been more accurate at writing the books I've read in my bullet journal. So I have read 46 books so far this year. This is December, what day is today? December 11th. So it's a little bit early. By the time you see this video, I will probably, hopefully have read at least a few more books, because I hope to spend the last couple weeks of the year just really relaxed, just slowing down with work, maybe even taking a week off, maybe even just getting away from social media altogether and just enjoy reading. So I do expect to read, let me show you what I'm planning to read. This guy, it's just a tiny little thing, I know. This is actually 3 books in one. This is something I read when I was probably 15, and one of you guys on Instagram helped me remember what the heck this was, because I literally said, hey guys, there was some kind of fantasy where the guy could read minds and the lady was named Fire something. That's all I had to go on, and you guys helped me remember this book. So I loved this when I was a kid, so I'm excited to see if it's still as good as I remember. I'm telling you, rereads at the end of the year, just yes. One of the best things about rereads is that you already know what's coming, you already know you like it, and something about that kind of removes anxiety. It's coming home to a best friend, it's living in a world where there's no real stress, even if it's a little bit stressful, because you know what's gonna happen. So anyway, I like rereads. Don't judge me. By the way, Penny says hi. All right, now let's talk about which one of these was my favorite. I'm just gonna kind of read through it and pick. So I don't know exactly how many I'm gonna pick, but I think what's gonna qualify as my favorite is something that honestly I would reread again. That's it. That's really my only real qualifier, to be honest. Okay, yes, the first one. Come with me, I'm gonna bring you closer. The first one that I'm gonna share with you is actually 2, and the 3rd book in the series is coming out very soon. I can't wait. Okay, whew. There we go. This series. This is book 1, A Curse So Dark and Lonely. This is book 2, A Heart So Fierce and Broken. Brigid Kemmerer is an author I had never read before, but I love her writing style. I love the stories. This is actually a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I believe it's like a loose retelling, but oh my gosh, so good. I'm actually gonna add this to my list to reread, if not at the end of this year, because that's a big book that I have planned, then the beginning of January or February, because I gotta get ready for the next book coming out. And like I said, when it's a good book, I do want to reread. I love rereading. Should we make a stack like I did last time? Let's do that. That'll work. Okay, this next one actually was a reread. Should I count that? You know what, I'm counting it. I reread the Graceling series. I won't talk about this a ton because I definitely talked about it a lot in that last video I did. I don't know, the middle of the year sometime, where it was like books I read in 2020 so far. So I'll link that below if you want to watch that for other books that I've read. But again, kind of proves my point. It's a favorite if I reread it. I feel like this one's not so much of a reread because you don't technically need it to read the other 2. And I don't know, like I just really liked these 2 more. So I'm gonna be weird because I'm trying to like not have all the books be my favorites. But Graceling is an older book, and it's about a world where people have graces, which are like a type of power that they have, and they're born with it, and it shows up in their eyes, and it's a YA fantasy, if that wasn't clear. And then this is also a YA fantasy, but they start out with characters in the modern world, and then they get brought to a different world. So it's like 2 parallel worlds. I'm not describing this well. I would suggest checking it out on Goodreads. Oh yeah, okay. The next one is by a fellow Authortuber, Alexa Donne. In fact, I'm gonna include both of these on my list because I actually do kind of want to read these again. I read this one first and this one second, which was technically out of order, but because they're not, what's the word that I want? Continuous? They're more companion novels in a series, I guess. I don't know how to describe this either. I'm terrible at this. Here, I will let you read the back. Okay, so I think I really liked the romance in this one, especially in the middle for whatever reason. I was having a really good time reading this. This one I really enjoyed the world building. Actually, both of them. I really like when the world building comes through naturally and it's like a really big part of the story and it actually plays a role. That's really fun for me. I'm kind of nerdy like that. So that's one of the reasons that I really like YA fantasy. So far we've been doing books in twos. I don't know if that's gonna keep going. Oh yeah, okay. This one, Everything by Nicola Yoon, is actually, I believe, a movie as well, although I still haven't watched. But I had read about this in Save the Cat, writes a novel, and I remember when it was referenced, I was like, oh my gosh, I really want to read that. And so when it pops back up, I think somebody on Goodreads added it and I was like, ooh, I remember this book. I remember reading about this in Save the Cat. I really want to read it. And so I ended up ordering it on an impulse. Oh my gosh, so much fun. I talk about this quite a bit in my books I read so far in 2020 video as well. So I'll just show you the back. Feel free to pause. I know I've said this in the other video, but I really liked the format and the unique version of storytelling in this one. Oh my gosh, things like this just inspire me to write and to write differently and to make it more exciting and engaging. So it makes me want to be more unique and try things that are outside of the box, which I love. I love this story. And also, oh my gosh, I would definitely reread this again. This was a page turner. And now that I know the ending, I think that's the most exciting thing, is like the first read through, you don't know what's happening and it's very suspenseful and amazing. But then the second read through, you remember all the feelings, and so you see them coming and you're like, oh, I can't wait for this. Oh, I can't wait for that. I sound crazy, but it's true. Okay, this is weird because the next one is not on my list, but I know I read it this year because, again, it goes with this one. When I like an author, I look up the other books that they read or wrote because I'm like, I want to read more of that type of stuff. So I actually grabbed this book next. I don't know why I don't have it on my list. I don't even know if I have it on Goodreads. I'm gonna have to go check. I'm not always great at filling out Goodreads, but I'm gonna try going forward. If you guys wanna be friends on there, feel free to add me. I will link it below because I just wanna be more active on Goodreads, and that's a hair. Okay, so this one, let me show you the back. This one, the author wrote the coolest thing in the back that I just wanna read you guys. Yes, okay, an exclusive essay on the power of words by Nicola Yoon. So I won't read you the whole thing, but I want to read you this section right here. She says, I wrote this book for many reasons, but one of them was to address the divisiveness of the times we live in. There are people in this world who will tell you that the people who don't look like you or don't share your same language or religion or sexuality or race are not to be trusted. They will say those people are not like us. We don't share anything in common with them. It's not true. It's never been true. This is the kind of message that we need right now. Oh my gosh, this book could not have been any more timely. This book was really, really cool because it was about an immigrant, and my husband is actually an immigrant from Iran. So something you may not have known about me, but we have majorly different cultures and we have had to navigate that. And it's a lot like this story. It's very funny and entertaining and relatable. I don't know if everyone else will feel quite the level of relatableness that I did, but oh my gosh, I think this one is my favorite, even over Everything. That one was great, but this one was just like, this is my jam. I get it. And that finding things in common is something my husband and I have to do all the time, and I wish that more people would be willing to do. Because quick hard talk right now, the people out there who are screaming racist the loudest and who are, calling people out and saying things about, calling people out and just, supposedly trying to fix it, are, in my opinion, making it worse. I think the people who are screaming hate from the rooftops against people who they say are racist are just exacerbating the problem. They're just making it worse. We need to find the things between us that we have in common. That is what brings us together, is finding what we have in common and looking at other people not as others who are separate, but as part of us, as part of the us group. Finding that common ground between other people, no matter what group it is. She referenced others outside of race as well. When you see someone as an other group versus a group that you are in with them, you no longer have empathy for them and understanding and a willingness to learn, versus if you bring them into your group and you say, I have this in common. If you're here, we probably all love reading books. That's one thing we have in common. We are readers. That is our group. That is the us. And that right there helps us to connect with each other and have more empathy for each other and more understanding and more willingness to learn about the differences, because we all have differences, but they don't have to be so divisive, and so there does not have to be that hate. So I don't know if that's gonna be something people wanna hear or if that's gonna bring trolls, but I think it's important to say. I shared that page on Instagram as well because I was just so proud of the author for being somebody who stands up for kindness and for not dividing people. Because again, a lot of the stuff that's being paraded around as non-racist today is actually the most racist stuff, the most divisive, the most upsetting things that I have heard in many years from people, the most hate between people groups in general. That's not okay. Just because you don't agree with somebody doesn't mean you get to treat them that way. That kind of hypocrisy really irritates me, and I do not think it's okay to be hateful or divisive, no matter what group you are. That's my personal take on it. Take it or leave it. Okay, so I need to add that book to my list for sure, but then the next one is actually a 3-book series. This stack right here. This was a read that I actually had on my TBR for probably a year. I don't remember exactly when this came out, but I remember seeing this book all over Bookstagram, and I was like, I don't know. It's not something that like instantly called to me, right? Because it's about kind of a, I don't want to say a circus. It's hard to describe. Let me show you the back. It says, remember, it's only a game. So there are 2 sisters in these books, and this first one follows the first sister, Scarlet, I think. Yeah, and then the next one follows Donatella, her sister, and then I think this one, I literally didn't read it that long ago. You'd think I'd remember. They're both in it, but I think that its main focus is Donatella. Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. It's more about Donatella again. Loved this series. Okay, I'm out of room. Penny, what do I do? Okay, like that, I guess. I'm gonna run out of room on that shelf. Okay, the next one is just one book for the moment. It is technically a series, and I just haven't read book 2 yet. It's Fable. So this is by Adrienne Young. This is the first book of hers that I would definitely reread, and I'm thinking about rereading as I go into the second book, but actually this one's fresh enough that I remember. I'm thinking to go dive right into Namesake, which comes out in March, the same month as my next book. Oh wait, the back is just reviews. Let me see if I can find, here we go. Also, this book makes me really want to do a cover like this so bad, because look at this character, first of all, and then look at she's got a ship in her eye. And then the other book, Namesake, is the other half of her face. So, oh my gosh, super cool. Okay, my battery's dying, so I'm gonna finish really quickly with a 4-for-1 next. And that is this series right here. And I'm sure you guys have heard of this. This is like a really popular series. Not everybody likes it, but I am one of the people who definitely does. I just really enjoy the world building and the way that it forms the characters in such a unique, really different way. I like being surprised by stories, but whew, that was close. This one just came out, and so I decided to do a reread of these beforehand. It was so good. I want to say, whoops. This one came out, it just came out. It was a super fast read. It's actually, I think I looked it up, 21,000 words? It was short, whatever it was, because it actually has a lot of graphics. Let me try to show you here. It has a lot of illustrations going on throughout the book. I wonder if I have enough battery to show you my favorite one. Oh, right there. This one was my favorite. And I just, honestly, I wasn't sure I would like that, but I really liked how it illustrated the story, and I was like, oh yeah, I totally see that now. I mean, she describes things really well, but it was fun to see it actually drawn. I literally read this in, I think, 1 to 2 hours. It was super short, super fast read. Loved it. And I've probably talked about these a lot too, so let me just end by saying I really enjoy Holly Black's writing. I've read other books of hers, but I would definitely reread these again. They're just very different and just so well done. She does plot twists like nobody else, you guys. I love the way she does plot twists. I never see it coming. Okay, put that there. All right, there you go. Those are my favorite reads of 2020. I'm gonna try to get a thumbnail now. Okay, Whoa, oh my gosh, that's a lot of books. I didn't expect that. Okay. Ah, it's going down, you guys. Do you see this? No, 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 save the books. Save the books, Penny. Okay. Okay, now what do I do? Now what do I do? No, no, they're going down. Ah! Cool, cool, cool. All right. Just really quick before the camera dies, I thought it was fitting to wear my Reader Corgi sweater for this one. Those are available on my merch store, which is also linked below. All right, you guys, that's all I have for you. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe. You know all the stuff that helps out my channel. Thank you in advance. I hope you have an amazing end of the year, that 2020 ends with a bang, and I will see you guys again next year. Bye.